Well, welcome once again. This is the Doctor of Digital, and what do we have today? The secret of writing great dialogue. So, if you want to know how to improve your creative writing, this is what you want to listen for because this is dialogue, and this is something that troubles all kinds of people, and we're trying to figure out how to do it and do it better. So, what I have for today, based on what I've learned, Burning America in the Best Interest of the Children, Wave 14, and that's what I have for you today. The single secret of writing great dialogue. So, welcome back. You're almost done with these 15 ways to develop your creative writing, and let's talk about dialogue right now. So, dialogue should simply be a sound among other sounds, just something that comes out of the mouths of people whose eyes tell the story in visual terms. What a great quote. Not me, that's Alfred Hitchcock. And yes, he's made a good film or two. Topic: the single secret of writing great dialogue. Lesson: with all movie genres, there are many different ways dialogue is used. You have high concept roller coaster ride scripts that use the dialogue to get through the exciting and sometimes harrowing sequences of action, mystery, thrills, scares, or hijinks, where the dialogue merely works as a bridge to get you from one point to another. You have period pieces that use the dialogue to place you into that frame of history by using the speech patterns of the time in question. You have location scripts that use the dialogue to tell stories from different parts of the world and sometimes beyond by showcasing different languages, language barriers, or vernaculars. You have small, quirky drama or comedy scripts that use the dialogue to convey the world, beliefs, and life perspectives of the characters. And then you have variations of the above that utilize the dialogue as a more of a stylistic choice where the dialogue becomes a bigger part of the script equation, taking on a larger role where the dialogue becomes a character of its own. Pulp Fiction, Juno, and Glengarry Glen Ross are prime examples of this. And when many think of those types of films and dialogue found within, the term naturalistic dialogue comes into play. Naturalistic dialogue is a celebrated notion within the realms of screenwriting, the pursuit of creating dialogue that sounds real and organic. We're meant to believe that when this type of dialogue occurs, the characters themselves feel more real and relatable for audiences. In short, many feel that this naturalistic approach is the answer to creating great dialogue. It's not. Naturalistic dialogue is nothing more than an academic term, a label for something that really has no true definition. There is no such thing as realistic or naturalistic dialogue in film. It's fiction. DM me for movie clips of dialogue examples, but here is my point. Nobody talks like Juno. Nobody talks like the characters in Pulp Fiction. Nobody talks about Alec Baldwin's Blake and Glengarry Glen Ross. Nobody talks like Alvy and Annie in Annie Hall. Nobody talks like Jesse and Celine in Before Sunrise. There's nothing natural about that type of dialogue. It's cinematic poetry. And in poetry, there are many different types of styles and syntax. One could argue that it's less about how real people talk and more about how real people would want to talk. The old screenwriting go-to practice found in guru manuals and declarations is to go out into the world and just listen. Then and only then you will find the dialogue you should be writing. It's an absurd notion because if you were to record the average coffee shop discussion, the average bar atmosphere exchange between friends, or even the average moments between lovers on a date, you'd be playing back the audio file only to transcribe what would be read as often disturbing and confusing gibberish. We're human, and human communication is odd when the words are not predetermined through a script, social media post, article, or written speech. While actually speaking, we interrupt each other. We pause. We redirect. We go off on tangents. We add an annoying amount of ums and ahs and likes. We lose track of what we were saying. We get nervous and stop or mutter on and on and on. Dialogue is written to tell a story and to convey various reactions and emotions, and it's also meant to convey information, whether we screenwriters want to admit it or not. There's no such thing as naturalistic dialogue in a screenplay. It doesn't and shouldn't exist within. Perhaps what some call realistic or naturalistic dialogue is less about what is found in the actual screenplay and more about how it is eventually interpreted and performed by the actor. But that's not your job. Can it be written that way? Only to a certain degree. The key to attempting that would be found not in the actual words, but the structure of how the dialogue is portrayed in a screenplay. Pauses, interruptions, fragments, characters finishing each other's sentences, characters dismissing what the other is saying by interrupting, and the power struggles within a conversation. These are the ways to create a better flow of dialogue for the reader. And the audience is to get through. As long as you don't make the mistake of putting that as a priority over what we've already stated was dialogue in a screenplay is there for. To tell a story, to share emotions, and to convey necessary information to keep the story and characters moving forward. The real idiosyncrasies of real speech mentioned here need to be discarded. So, what's the big secret to writing great dialogue? Every great quest leads to a hidden secret revealed, and this quest for the secret of writing dialogue, great dialogue, I offer two keys. The first key to unlocking the mysteries of writing great dialogue is lack of dialogue. Actions speak louder than words. Ironically, when we're told to search the world around us for realistic dialogue, we quickly realize that if we are truly going to convey realistic communication, we must realize that we learn the emotions of others not by direct language exchange, but by our outward actions and reactions. If someone is angry, more often than not, they don't outright say, "I'm angry and this is why." No, they sulk, they look away, they shake their heads, they retreat, they rage. If someone is sad, they don't say, "I'm sad and this is why." No, they sulk, they stare down to the ground, silent. They have tears in their eyes, they weep, they sob, they run away. Nothing is worse than reading or hearing on-the-nose dialogue that shoves meaning down the audience's ears. Lack of dialogue is often your best bet. For the screenwriter trying to pepper their script with great dialogue, the best practice is less about injecting those great one-liners and speeches and more about cutting and cutting and cutting every line of dialogue that you can until you find that great one-liner, fragment, or phrase hiding amidst the noise, that diamond in the rough that encapsulates the moment at the core. The second and final key to unlocking the secret of writing great dialogue is to understand that there is no secret. There is no one final answer. And the moment the screenwriter realizes that will be the moment that you'll feel a heavy weight lifted from your shoulders. Each script is like its own entity. Guidelines and industry expectations surely exist, but there are no rules that can apply to each and every screenplay. Some scripts require expositional dialogue. Others would suffer from it. Some scripts require the added touch of stylistic dialogue. Others don't need it. Some scripts require no dialogue, letting action speak louder than words. Dunkirk, 1917. All is lost. Others would benefit from it. The secret to great dialogue is unlocked by focusing on the lack of dialogue to find those gems or not find them when you don't need them, and then understanding that there is no secret, releasing you from the burden of finding one. You should always remember to focus on what your particular scripts call for when it comes to dialogue. Use this lesson in this way as a tool when you start to write your script. Assignment. You've already gotten into the minds of the characters and now will continue to do so throughout your writing. Now it's time to start thinking about how they will speak. Start reading the various moments and scenes that you've conjured in the development of your drama concept. Start to get a feel for how your characters communicate. Are they quiet and show their emotions and actions through actions and not words? Are they vocally belligerent or chatty when showcasing their emotions? If you take away the character names, can you tell the difference between each character's dialogue? Do they all sound like the same person when you do? Write a few notes for each of your characters, detailing your thoughts on how dialogue is attributed to them. Note how they communicate or how they have a lack of communication. This will help finish the development of your characters as soon as you go into the writing process and let them loose within your drama concept. Well, this is all the keys to writing great dialogue and understanding how it should be. Now, I've got some bonus things, and make sure I get those movie clips to you so you can see what I'm trying to get across here in this particular way of writing great dialogue. In the meantime, of course, you can also DM me for those options when it comes down to the movies and clips, but also getting the Hero's Journey worksheet, which helps structure any kind of writing that you're doing, whether it be a novel, a screenplay, a short story, a memoir, whatever it might be. In any case, Burning America in the Best Interest of Children should help you and help you to get better at writing creative writing. Until next time, this is a Doctor of Digital signing off. Deus Volt.